Mizuto is a loser virgin until his ex-girlfriend becomes his stepsister and they did dirty things together. In the past, Mizuto and Yume became a so-called couple during 8th and 9th grade. Like many relationships at that age have ended badly, leaving them both bitter about each other and the idea of romance. However, fate had different plans for them. Their parents got married, turning these ex-lovers into new step-siblings. Now Yume and Mizuto disagree about where they should go, each having their own ideas but unable to agree. When their mother walks in, she asks what's going on, and they both explain they were waiting for her at the door. They argue before and after their mother leaves, reverting to disliking each other. They argue about each other's attitude, given their past as an ex-couple trying to hide it from their parents, which is quite awkward. That night, the family gathered for dinner, and after eating, the ex-couple washed dishes together. Their parents looked at them proudly for deciding to live together. After calling it a night, Mizuto went to his room to read a book. A few moments later, Yu knocked on his door and came in. She complained about how long they would be on a first-name basis, so Mizuto asked her how she wanted to be addressed. Yu replied that she wanted to be called Omi-chan as the elder, but Mizuto argued that they were born on the same day, November 3rd. Yu countered by pointing out that she was born at 11:04 a.m., while Mizuto was born at 11:34 a.m. I bet she waited a long time to mention that, he thought. However, he also noted that they're not even real siblings, so what's the point? That's when Yume suggested a pretend game where they act like innocent siblings, but as soon as the situation becomes inappropriate, whoever gets caught will lose and be the younger one. Mizuto agreed to the terms and Yume went on her way and touched Mizuto's things in his room like a normal sibling would. Mizuto understood why Yume proposed the game, so he decided to play his cards right and approach Yume in the gentlest way possible. This reminded Yume of the boys she had fallen for before, causing her to blush as she folded like paper, not the way siblings do. This made Mizuto proud, forcing her to call them Oni-san, and for some reason, this had an effect on Mizuto, making him blush slightly. Mizuto acted cool about it, but Yume was bothered by how easily Mizuto said hurtful things. So he patted her head, but Yume didn't let him and stormed off. The day after that, they went to their first day of school. They had to tolerate each other even at school since they were classmates because of their surnames. While welcoming the students, Yu gave the speech as she represented junior high, making a good first impression with her classmates and gaining instant popularity. Then there's Mizuto getting annoyed after class when some other guy classmates approached him just to get close to his stepsister. Naturally, Mizuto wasn't happy about it, so he went to the bathroom to give himself some time to think. Those sitting guys continued their conversation about Yume and her beauty, which was awkward since they were also talking about his ex. Later, Yume went home earlier than Mizuto. The next day, the same guys greeted Mizuto and Yume intervened, linking her arms with his and pulling them close to her chest. This surprised them, but Yume explained that her stepbrother wasn't fond of talking. After they reached their lockers, her mood shifted like a two-faced cat. After school, they were alone since their parents would be home late, so they decided to cook. While Mizuto was thinking about what to eat, Yume remembered the sensation on his shoulder, which made her blush. Ironically, their meal was also chicken breast. Even while eating, Yume couldn't stop thinking about it. She blamed Mizuto for not thinking about the incident earlier, but Mizuto had forgotten about it until Yume reminded him. After eating, Yume took an angry bath looking like her rubber duck until she got an idea. Impulsively, she went outside with a towel, while Mizuto was peacefully reading a book in the living room. Mizuto choked on his drink, not expecting Yume to come out so casually. His reaction satisfied her, so she played along more and sat down casually, saying it's what normal siblings do. That's where her towel came loose and she almost exposed herself. She realized what she was doing and Mizuto understood she thought he would act, but instead, she covered him with his jacket, scolding her for being impulsive. Yume stood up but stumbled. Mizuto was there to catch her, and they ended up on the couch, with too close in the gap. Mizuto felt something and was about to kiss her for some reason, but footsteps could be heard as their parents finally came home. They couldn't be seen together like that, so Mizuto made Yume hide inside the sofa, feeling quite awkward about what might have happened. In today's school session, the students were doing fitness tests. A guy named Kawanami approached Mizuto and asked to be his partner. Of course, Mizuto already knew he was befriending him to get close to Yume, but Kawanami assured him he had no such intention. Afterward, the girls went to the medical room to get their BMI checked. Yume's classmate Minami was so focused on Yume's milkers. Minami invited Yume, admiring her for having such a voluptuous figure. Yume explained that she had the same problem before, which intrigued Minami even more, wondering how Yume had gained such a figure within a year. Minami hugged Yume, thanking her for giving her hope. After taking their BMI, they went to the gym and got ready to start their first set. Minami told Yume she was not good at sports, but the opposite was true. Yume didn't disappoint them and saw Mizuto and Kawanami on the other side. Seeing Mizuto give up on his sit-ups, Yume vowed not to be like him. So she did her best and reached 32 reps. They continued from a grip test to running in the field. After finishing, Yume suddenly lost consciousness and Mizuto was surprisingly there to catch her before handing her over to Minami. They went to the nurse's office to let Yume rest. That's when she confessed to Minami that she had been secretly training in her room, afraid that people would think she wasn't worthy of being a representative. Minami thinks she's admirable and feels relieved that Yume is just a human with feelings. Because of that, they form a bond and are now on a first-name basis. They returned to their classroom and saw Mizuto in uniform. He was teasing Yume and Minami could tell that Mizuto was gentle towards her, making her flattered. The next day, Minami was upset after Mizuto told her that she couldn't make it because of her fever. Kawanami was there to cheer her up and tease her, but it didn't help much. Minami told Mizuto that she decided to visit Yume after class and Kawanami also wanted to join. But in the end, only Minami went. She bought ingredients to make Yume some food. They went in and Yume was in bed sleeping. She noticed that she had a visitor and almost asked for Mizuto. Now that Yume was awake, they went to the kitchen and cooked porridge. While cooking, Minami, who was good at reading people, could tell that Mizuto had a girlfriend before. Mizuto didn't say anything about it, and Minami went to feed Yume after they cooked. As the sun set, Minami went home. Mizuto informed Yume that Minami was gone, but Yume only wanted to hold Mizuto's hand to fall asleep. It seemed like Mizuto was the one holding something else. Mizuto reminisced about their time in junior high when he and Yume were a couple who shared book reviews. They were a normal couple back then, but broke up over a small misunderstanding. Years later, they found out their parents had remarried, and at that moment they knew they were doomed. Now they're siblings of the past. Back to the present, Mizuto stayed with her and did everything she asked him to do. That's when Mizuto got suspicious and measured Yume's temperature, finding out that her fever had gone down and she was just pretending to be sick. Thank you for staying until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know in the comments which anime you'd like to see next.